We're joined from Singapore by Thomas Harr. He is a senior currency strategist at Standard Chartered Bank. Good morning to you, Mr. Harr. So you heard Timothy Geithner there talking about the U.S. deficit. Now, yesterday, Moody's actually warned the U.S. that its AAA credit rating could come under pressure if growth doesn't end up being more powerful than expected, or if they don't start reining in their big fiscal deficit. So what do you think, what are your thoughts on the U.S.'s fiscal position and how it's likely to affect the dollar?
I think fiscal concerns in general is a key concern in currency markets, of course, and now the focus is on the euro area. If that gradually spreads to the US and UK, that could put more pressure on these currencies. But I think Geithner is right to focus on that growth and jobs creation is a key focus now. So they have to focus on supporting growth for now. And
what about the dollar? What are its prospects in the near term?
I think it's a very mixed picture, right? Because if you look at against the euro or some of the other G10 currencies, I think the dollar has more upside risk here, given that we are clearly seeing some kind of recovery in the US and the market is focusing on that and interest rate expectations are rising. That being said, if you compare to, for example, to Asian currencies, I still think Asian currencies have a lot of good value here. It's simply fundamentals are too strong in Asia not to focus on Asian currencies that are outperforming this year.
Well, the ECB meets today. They're expected to keep rates on hold. But tell me, are you concerned that Europe's problems are going to deepen?
I think there's definitely a concern that the focus now on Greece is gradually spreading to Portugal and Spain, and that will continue to put pressure on the euro in the near term. I think near term the risk is for euro to drop further, and the next key levels is 137.50. If that goes, we can easily see a move down to something like 135.
Okay, tell us about the Bank of England, because they're meeting as well. Lots of speculation that they will pause their QE. Do you think they can afford to do that, given that the economy is just barely growing here in the UK?
I think some of the activity indicator point a bit better picture of the UK economy than the GDP data did. We think that the UK economy is gradually, although very sluggishly, recovering, and we do think that the Bank of England will pause its quantitative easing policy and see how the economy plays out from here on.
Let's talk about China, because one of its government economists was speaking to Bloomberg and said that the government should allow the yuan to appreciate before actually raising interest rates. And the rationale for that was that you avoid fueling inflows of capital that would stoke inflation. What do you think is going to happen in China with regards to the yuan?
Yeah, we think the other way around. I mean, what may be logically, you can say from some arguments, may not be how they act. And we think we will see reserve requirement ratio hikes, benchmark lending rate hikes first here in Q1 and Q2, and maybe late Q2 they will start to allow the CNY to appreciate. I mean, the problem is also appreciating does not necessarily solve the problem of capital inflows not coming back. If anything, that could actually worsen the problem.
Thanks very much, Thomas Harr, senior currency strategist there at Standard Chartered.